Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Anita Anand with the Midday News. The headlines. Constitution Day being celebrated across the country today, President Ramnath Kovind led the nation by reading the preamble of the Constitution virtually. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses concluding session of All India Presiding Officers Conference, asserts India is fighting terrorism with new policies. Prime Minister to inaugurate Global Renewable Energy Investors Meet and Expo this evening. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 93.66%. Cyclone Nivar set to weaken into a deep depression over the next 6 hours. NDRF teams already on the ground to help people in need, says Union Home Minister. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. President Ramnath Kovind led the nation in community reading of the preamble to the Constitution of India today on the occasion of the Constitution Day. The President read the preamble from Rashtrapati Bhavan, which was telecast live by Doordarshan. He was joined by people across the nation. It was also screened live at Kevadia, Gujarat, where all participants of the 80th All India Presiding Officers Conference read out the preamble along with the President.
हम भारत के लोग भारत को एक संपूर्ण प्रभुत्व संपन्न समाजवादी पंथ निरपेक्ष लोकतंत्रात्मक गणराज्य बनाने के लिए तथा उसके समस्त नागरिकों को सामाजिक, आर्थिक और राजनैतिक न्याय, विचार, अभिव्यक्ति, विश्वास, धर्म और उपासना की स्वतंत्रता, प्रतिष्ठा और अवसर की समता प्राप्त कराने के लिए तथा उन सब में व्यक्ति की गरिमा और राष्ट्र की एकता और अखंडता सुनिश्चित करने वाली बंधुता बढ़ाने के लिए दृढ़ संकल्प होकर अपनी इस संविधान सभा में आज तारीख 26 नवंबर 1949 ईस्वी को एतद द्वारा इस संविधान को अंगीकृत अधिनियमित और आत्मार्पित करते हैं
Constitution Day is being celebrated today across the country to mark the adopting of the Indian Constitution by the Constituent Assembly. The day is also known as National Law Day and commemorates the adoption of the Constitution in India. On the 26th of November in 1949, the Constituent Assembly of the country formally adopted the Constitution of India, which came into force on the 26th of January 1950. Constitution Day was first celebrated in 2015 when the NDA government decided to mark the day as a tribute to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who played an important role in its framing as the chairman of the drafting committee. The Constituent Assembly took 2 years, 11 months and 17 days to accomplish the stupendous task of drafting the historic document. The Constitution declares India a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, assuring its citizens justice, equality and liberty, and endeavours to promote fraternity. It is also the longest written constitution of any sovereign country in the world. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that now India is fighting terrorism with new policies. Addressing the concluding session of the 80th All India Presiding Officers Conference today via video conferencing at Kevadia in Gujarat, he said India can't forget the wounds of 26/11 terror attack. He said terrorists from Pakistan attacked Mumbai on this day in 2008, in which many, including foreign citizens and policemen, lost their lives. The Prime Minister paid tributes to them.
आज की तारीख देश पर सबसे बड़े आतंकी हमले के साथ भी जुड़ी हुई है। 2008 में पाकिस्तान से भेजे गए आतंकियों ने मुंबई पर धावा बोल दिया था। इस हमले में अनेक लोगों की मृत्यु हुई थी, अनेक देशों के लोग मारे गए थे। मैं मुंबई हमले में मारे गए सभी लोगों को अपनी श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूं। इस हमले में हमारे पुलिस बल के कई जाबाज शहीद हुए थे, मैं उन्हें भी नमन करता हूं।
Prime Minister Modi said the Indian Constitution has many features, but a special feature is importance of duties. He said Gandhiji saw a close link between rights and duties and felt that once we perform our duties, rights will automatically be safeguarded.
पूज्य बापू की प्रेरणा को, सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल की प्रतिबद्धता को प्रणाम करने का दिन है। ऐसे ही अनेक दूरदर्शी प्रतिनिधियों ने स्वतंत्र भारत के नवनिर्माण का मार्ग तय किया था। देश उन प्रयासों को याद रखे, इसी उद्देश्य से 5 साल पहले 26 नवंबर को संविधान दिवस के रूप में मनाने का फैसला किया गया था। मैं पूरे देश को हमारे लोकतंत्र के इस अहम पर्व के लिए बधाई देता हूं।
The two-day conference began yesterday at Kevadia in Gujarat. President Ramnath Kovind inaugurated the conference, which is being attended by Vice President and Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, Gujarat Governor Acharya Devavrat, the state's Chief Minister Vijay Rupani, among others. Speaker Om Birla is also the chairperson of the conference. The All India Presiding Officers Conference began in 1921 and the Gujarat event marks its centenary year. The theme for this year's conference is Harmonious Coordination between Legislature, Executive and Judiciary, Key to a Vibrant Democracy.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will virtually inaugurate the 3rd Global Renewable Energy Investors Meet and Expo Reinvest 2020 today. During the virtual conference, all the leading companies will display their latest technological developments in the field of renewable energy and discuss various options available for energy transition. Several world leaders, energy ministers of 75 countries and 200 eminent speakers will take part in the event. The summit is organized by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Talking exclusively to AIR about the Reinvest 2020 Meet and Expo, Minister of State for Power, New and Renewable Energy, R.K. Singh talked about expanding scenario of solar energy in India.
In solar energy manufacturing projects, we have capacity here. We are exporting part of that as well. But we want that to expand, and it is going to expand. It is going to expand for 2 reasons. Number one, we are going to impose customs duty. We have found that some countries have been dumping equipment at very low prices in India so as to kill local manufacturing. So we set up safeguard duty, and now we are going to replace it with customs duty. So that is a long term. And further encourage manufacturers to set up manufacturing here. And the other one, of course, is this production-linked incentive, which we have decided to give in order to further accelerate manufacturing.
All India Radio will broadcast a comprehensive radio report on Prime Minister's inaugural address at the 3rd Global Renewable Energy Investment Meeting and Expo Reinvest 2020 today at 10 p.m. This program will be broadcast on FM Rainbow, Rajdhani channels and additional frequencies.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired the Pragati meeting yesterday. It marked the Prime Minister's 33rd interaction through Pragati, the ICT-based multimodal platform for proactive governance and timely implementation involving central and state governments. During the meeting, multiple projects, grievances and programs were reviewed. The projects taken up were of the Ministry of Railways, MORTH, DPIIT and Power Ministry. These projects, with a total cost of 1.41 lakh crore rupees, were related to 10 states and union territories, including Odisha, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Gujarat, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Dadra and Nagar Haveli. The Prime Minister asked the concerned secretaries of the Union Government and chief secretaries of the state governments to ensure that they complete the work before time. The graded resumption of domestic flight operations in the country has completed 6 months, with the footfalls at the airports almost reaching at par with the pre-COVID era. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri has informed that with a total footfall of nearly 4,77,000 yesterday, the domestic flight operations are steadily moving towards the pre-COVID figures. Mr. Puri stated that with nearly 3,808 domestic flight movements yesterday, more than 2,38,000 people boarded flights and reached their destinations safely. The phase-wise resumption of domestic flights in the country began on the 25th of May after the services were halted for more than a month due to the COVID pandemic.
Election Commission today issued notification for a by-election to one Rajya Sabha seat in Bihar. The seat fell vacant following the death of Lok Janshakti Party founder Ram Vilas Paswan. Candidates can file their nominations till 3rd of December. Scrutiny will be done the next day. Last date for withdrawal of candidature is 7th of December. Polling and counting will be held on 14th of December. Bihar Governor Phagu Chauhan today addressed the joint session of state legislature. Congratulating the newly elected members of the House, Mr. Chauhan said election verdict has come for development in the state. He said the Bihar government has extended all possible help to people of the state during Corona period. People who came from outside were kept in quarantine. The state government has spent over 10,000 crores for preventive measures to contain Corona. Amid noisy scenes created by opposition parties, the governor said the centre has extended help to Bihar in this regard. Highlighting state government schemes, the governor said food grains were provided to those people who were not possessing the cards.
The government has said that over 304 lakh tons of paddy has been procured in the ongoing Kharif marketing season, showcasing increase of 17.82% over last year. The Agriculture Ministry said paddy procurement is continuing smoothly in the procuring states and union territories of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Uttarakhand, Tamil Nadu, Chandigarh, Jammu and Kashmir, Kerala, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and Maharashtra. Out of the total purchase, Punjab alone has contributed over 202 lakh tons, which is 66.57% of total procurement. The ministry said more than 27,18,000 farmers have already been benefited from the ongoing procurement operations with minimum support price MSP value of over 57,395 crore rupees. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has urged the youths to think critically and be proactive to challenges. Addressing the 13th convocation of the ICFAI University Sikkim virtually, Mr. Naidu said that lessons should be taken from the COVID-19 pandemic, which caught the world off guard and brought together experts from all domains. He told fresh graduates that the pandemic is the first major adverse event for them and they should look at it as an opportunity and not a challenge. He said this is the right time to capitalize on the opportunities as job creators in India and urged fresh graduates to build upon Prime Minister Narendra Modi's idea of Atmanirbhar Bharat. The Vice President added that the National Education Policy 2020 aims to make India Vishwa Guru through its integrated, multidisciplinary and research-based approach. He also stressed on the importance of value-based education and urged the youth to put national interest above everything else. A report.
Sikkim Governor Ganga Prasad, Chief Minister P.S. Tamang and State Education Minister Ken Lepcha were present at the convocation ceremony of ICFA University, Sikkim. Mr. Prasad said that following the direction of Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Atmanirbhar Bharat, the graduates should focus on promoting vocal for local to reduce dependence on other countries. He said that India was facing shortage of PPE kits, masks and sanitizer in the initial stage of the COVID-19 pandemic, but now exports to these items. A total of 846 students of the 2019 batch were awarded degrees virtually at the ceremony. With Saikat Sarkar, Parja Sharma from Gangtok for AIR.
The 12th anniversary of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks is being observed today. The city police is organizing an event to pay homage to the martyred security personnel to be attended by only a limited number of people in view of the pandemic. The ceremony will be held at newly built memorial at the police headquarters in South Mumbai. More from our correspondent.
Maharashtra Governor Bhagat Singh Koshari, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, Home Minister Anil Deshmukh, DGP Subodh Kumar Jaiswal, Mumbai Police Chief Parambir Singh and other senior dignitaries from the state government and police paid tributes to the martyrs of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attack at the newly built memorial at police headquarters in South Mumbai. The event was attended by the family members of the martyred police and security personnel. Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar also paid tributes to the martyrs and victims of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attack. He said exemplary valor and bravery of the officers and jawans was witnessed when they fought the terrorists. He said a brave policeman like Tukaram Umbre took bullets on his body but caught Ajmal Amir Kasab alive. Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Constitution Day being celebrated across the country today. President Ramnath Kovind led the nation by reading the preamble of the Constitution virtually. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses concluding session of All India Presiding Officers Conference, asserts India is fighting terrorism with new policies. Prime Minister to inaugurate Global Renewable Energy Investors Meet and Expo this evening. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 93.66%. Cyclone Nivar set to weaken into a deep depression over the next 6 hours. NDRF teams already on the ground to help people in need, says Union Home Minister. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
To get accurate, reliable and wide coverage of news, tune into AIR News 24/7 and FM Gold and listen to the major bulletins at 8:30 a.m., 2 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. in English and 8 a.m., 2:30 p.m. and 8 p.m. in Hindi of half an hour each.
Welcome back to the Midday News. India has crossed a significant milestone in its fight against COVID-19. The number of new daily cases have been below the 50,000 mark for 19 consecutive days. In the last 24 hours, nearly 44,000 new confirmed cases were reported, while over 36,000 people recovered successfully in the same time span. With cumulative recovery of more than 86,79,000 people so far, the national recovery rate has reached 93.66%. The recovered cases in the country stand at nearly 20 times the number of active cases. The active caseload of the country also continues to remain below 5%. The total active cases in the country today stand at 4,52,344, which comprises merely 4.88% of the total reported cases. The Health Ministry has informed that nearly 77% of the new COVID cases are concentrated in 10 states and union territories of Delhi, Maharashtra, Kerala, West Bengal, Haryana and Rajasthan, among others. It said that enhanced countrywide medical infrastructure, implementation of the centre's standard treatment protocol by the states and union territories, and total dedication and commitment of doctors, paramedics and frontline workers have led to a persistent increase in the number of total recoveries in the country. The Health Ministry has said this has also led to a commensurate dip in the fatality rate, which stands at 1.46%. It informed that 524 case fatalities were reported in the past 24 hours.
Over 10,90,000 COVID samples were tested in the country in the last 24 hours. With this, the cumulative testing figure has almost reached an important milestone of 13 crore and 60 lakhs. The central government and ICMR have scaled up the testing infrastructure in a calibrated manner. India's testing capacity has touched 15 lakhs per day, ensuring easily accessible COVID-19 tests for all. Health Ministry has said that very high levels of testing lead to early identification, prompt isolation and effective treatment of COVID-19 cases. This also leads to low fatality rate. High volumes of testing have also ensured lower daily positivity rate, which continues to remain below 4%. The country is undertaking almost 5 times the number of daily tests per million of the population as per the standards prescribed by WHO. Starting from just one testing lab at National Institute of Virology, Pune, in January this year, the country today has 2,145 labs for testing COVID samples, which includes 1,169 government and 976 private labs. Delhi Health Minister Satyendra Jain has said that the schools in the national capital will remain closed until government is completely assured that COVID-19 situation is under control. Mr. Jain said the positivity rate in Delhi has come down to 8.5% in the last 3 weeks. Expressing hope regarding a COVID vaccine in a short span, Delhi Health Minister asserted that only upon complete assurance of situation being in control, city government would decide on reopening of schools.
Telangana reported 862 fresh COVID cases during the past 24 hours. With this, the total COVID cases reported in the state has gone up to 2,66,904. Over 41,000 tests were conducted yesterday. The recovery rate slightly improved to 95.41%, with 961 more people recovering yesterday. This took the number of recovered people so far in the state to 2,54,676. Meanwhile, the daily bulletin issued by the State Medical and Health Department this morning stated that total 1,444 deaths were reported so far, following 3 more people succumbing to COVID during the past 24 hours. Currently, the state has over 10,000 active cases, out of which over 8,000 are in home isolation. Karnataka continues to report retarded COVID positivity rate. Yesterday, the state reported 1,630 new COVID cases and 1,333 recoveries. The recovery rate is at a healthy 95.82%. The state has the positivity rate of 1.33% and case fatality rate of 1.16%. There were 19 deaths reported yesterday due to COVID-19. Out of total deaths of 11,714 reported till date, 6,360 were those above the age of 60 years, thereby recording a case fatality rate of 5.3% in that age group.
Tripura registered 35 new cases of coronavirus, while 73 patients were discharged from hospitals after recovery from the virus in the past 24 hours. With this, the tally rose to 32,528. So far, 31,418 people infected with coronavirus have been cured, while the recovery rate has further improved to 96.66%. Presently, 717 infected people are undergoing treatment in different COVID care centers. According to the State Health Bulletin, over 5,17,000 samples have been tested so far. Out of the total samples tested, 4,85,309 persons have been found negative of the infection. In Mizoram, 20 fresh cases of coronavirus infections were detected in the past 24 hours. With this, the total number of COVID-19 positive cases rose to 3,765. The recovery rate has also improved to 88.62%. According to the State Medical Bulletin, the state has also recorded 21 cases of recovery of coronavirus infections in the past 24 hours. So far, 3,319 infected people have been discharged from different COVID care centers. The number of active cases presently stands at 441.
The News Services Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program tonight will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Dr. Mohsin Wali, Senior Consultant, Sir Gangagaram Hospital, will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the expert on toll-free telephone number 1-800-115767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.com and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can also follow us on the News on AIR app for updates. This is All India Radio giving you the news.
All India Radio presents Northeast Diary. Glimpses of the news of the week from the northeastern states.
All about the region, a gateway to Southeast Asia, the developments and the destinations to look forward to.
News from the art, cultural and entertainment world of the northeastern states of India. All this and more.
Every Thursday, 5:30 to 6 p.m. in the evening on 100.1 All India Radio FM News Channel.
Cyclone Nivar made a landfall near Puducherry early morning around 2:30 a.m. From morning 6 a.m. onwards, rain stopped and it was drizzling slightly. The cyclone uprooted the trees and led to waterlogging in some parts of the Union Territory. A report.
Waterlogging was there in some areas like Indira Gandhi Square, Rainbow Nagar, Krishna Nagar, Venkata Nagar, etc. But since there is no rain from today morning 6 a.m. onwards, stagnated water is receding very fast. All the line departments worked in coordination and have removed the fallen trees, clearing the pathway and communication. National Disaster Relief Force and IDF were also involved in relief activities. No major damage to boats and coastal villages. People were safely accommodated in shelters and in other safe places, and that no loss of life reported till now, and only a few damages to the properties have occurred. Further, food packets also being provided to the people in the shelters. The PWD and municipality staffs are fully engaged in draining the waterlogging. In the meantime, Lieutenant Governor Dr. Kiran Pedi, in a WhatsApp message thanking the people of Puducherry for heard the administration and believed in it. Chandramohan, Air News, Puducherry.
The cyclone Nivar that crossed the coastline last night is set to weaken into a deep depression over the next 6 hours. A weather update by the Indian Meteorology Department says it is set to further weaken into a depression in the subsequent 6 hours. Under its impact, the north interior districts of Tamil Nadu are expected to receive isolated heavy rain for the next 24 hours with the possibility of light to moderate rain in its coastal regions. In the last 24 hours, Kadalur in Tamil Nadu received 28 centimeters of rain. Chennai received 23 centimeters of rain in the last 36 hours. Meanwhile, some places in Chennai and Kadalur are affected by stagnant waters. Deputy Chief Minister O. Paneerselvam visited waterlogged areas in Chennai this morning. Chief Minister Edeppadi Palaniswamy is scheduled to visit Kadalur this afternoon to review the damages caused by the cyclone. Meanwhile, Home Minister Amit Shah has said that the centre is closely monitoring the situation in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry in the wake of Cyclone Nivar. Mr. Shah spoke to both Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Edeppadi Palaniswamy and Puducherry Chief Minister V. Narayanasamy and assured them of all possible help from the centre. He informed that NDRF teams are already on the ground to help people in need.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital will have a hazy sky with temperature varying between 11 and 25 degrees Celsius. In Mumbai, sky will be mainly clear and the temperature will vary between 20 and 33 degrees. Kolkata is likely to have a partly cloudy sky. The city observed a minimum temperature of 17 degrees Celsius and is likely to experience maximum temperature of 27 degrees. Jammu witnessed a minimum temperature of 9 degrees, while maximum will be around 20. The city will have a mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Srinagar will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature was 2 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 10 degrees. In Leh, sky will be generally cloudy. Minimum temperature was minus 8 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 2 degrees. Gilgit will have a partly cloudy sky, becoming generally cloudy towards evening or night, with temperature hovering between 5 degrees to 11 degrees. Muzaffarabad is likely to have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Temperature will move from 5 to 15 degrees Celsius. In Dehradun, the temperature will hover between 11 and 21 degrees. Sky will be partly cloudy with possibility of development of thunder or lightning. Chandigarh will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Temperature is likely to move from 13 to 20 degrees. In Hyderabad, minimum temperature was 20 degrees, maximum will be 28. The city will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Ahmedabad will have a clear sky, minimum temperature was 16 degrees, maximum is 32. Patna will have a generally cloudy sky, temperature will hover between 11 degrees to 24 degrees. Guwahati experienced fog in the early morning. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Constitution Day being celebrated across the country today. President Ramnath Kovind led the nation by reading the preamble of the Constitution virtually. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses concluding session of All India Presiding Officers Conference, asserts India is fighting terrorism with new policies. Prime Minister to inaugurate Global Renewable Energy Investors Meet and Expo this evening. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 93.66%. cyclone Nivar set to weaken into a deep depression over the next 6 hours. NDRF teams already on the ground to help people in need, says Union Home Minister. And with that, we end the midday news.